In this video, we will introduce the notions of diminishing marginal returns and increasing marginal costs as an explanation for the upward sloping shape of the supply curve. This topic is further studied in the theory of the firm chapters. One of the key assumptions of this theory is the existence of a short-term and a long-term cost. The short term is defined by the period of time during which at least one factor of production is fixed. For example, we could have a limited number of workers, a limited number of machines, or a limited number of resources. During the short term, we observe that costs generally fall as we add more inputs in the production process. We should also observe that at some point the costs start to rise. We're going to see this with an example. Suppose that the business buys a new machine to produce batteries. This machine costs 1,200 euros. The business then hires a worker. This worker produces 10 batteries during his 8-hour shift. As a result, the cost of the machine for one day is spread among 10 units of output. The cost per unit of output is, therefore, 120 euros. Now the business hires another worker for yet another 8 hours. The machine is our fixed factor of production. We assume that we can't easily change how many machines we have at any moment, but we can change how many workers we have. As we add another worker that produces yet another 10 units of output, this means that the average cost per unit of output has now fallen to 60 euros. If we add another worker for yet another 8-hour shift, we will produce 30 batteries and each of them will cost us 40 euros. This can be illustrated by the following cost curve. The short-run average total cost. It shows that the more we produce, the lower the average costs are. However, if we go back to our original factory and we add one more worker, we will have an issue. Since the machine can only be operated by one worker and the machine is now working 24 hours a day with 3 workers, an extra worker will not increase the output. Perhaps it may increase output if all workers spend 6 hours in the machine, as it may increase their productivity as they are more rested and happy, but this is an assumption. In addition, as we add more and more workers, eventually it will come to a point where none of them will be able to work well, as everyone will be on the way of someone else and the process will be very inefficient. As workers are also getting a salary, but output does not rise or even decrease, the more workers we hire, that means that after our third worker, the average total costs will start increasing. This is illustrated by this diagram, showing that the more we produce, the higher our costs of production are. This illustrates the notions of diminishing marginal returns and increasing marginal costs. The law of diminishing marginal returns states that when a factor of production is fixed, such as the machine in our case, then adding more other factors of production will increase our production by fewer and fewer units. As a result of this, therefore, our cost of production will also increase as shown by the average total cost curve here illustrated. How does this link to our supply curve? It turns out that in order to be willing to produce an increasing number of units whose cost keeps increasing, then the firm will only be willing to produce those new units if the price offered by the customers is increasingly higher. And this is it. I hope you like and please comment and or subscribe.